Welcome back, fellow bonsai enthusiasts. Have you ever looked at a stunning, ancient-looking bonsai and just marveled at its shape? It looks so natural, yet so perfectly composed. How do they do that? Well, today, we read diving deep into the very heart of bonsai artistry, the techniques and principles of shaping and pruning. This is where a simple tree transforms into a living sculpture. It's not just about cutting branches. It's about telling a story, creating emotion, and capturing the essence of nature in miniature form. So grab your favorite clippers and let's get started on this incredible journey. First, let's talk about the foundational principles. Before you make a single cut, you need to understand balance and proportion. In bonsai, we often aim for asymmetrical balance, not perfect symmetry. Think about a majestic old tree in nature. It's rarely perfectly even on both sides. It might have a long, sweeping branch on one side and a shorter, more compact one on the other. This creates visual interest and a sense of dynamic movement. We're trying to replicate that natural, weathered beauty. The pot you choose also plays a huge role. The tree and pot should complement each other, with the pot's size and style enhancing the tree's overall look without overpowering it. A good rule of thumb is that the pot's length should be about 2/3 the height of the tree. It's all about creating a harmonious, unified picture. Now, let's get into the how. The two primary tools in our shaping arsenal are wiring and pruning. Let's start with wiring. This is how we guide the branches into the desired shape. You'll need anodized aluminum or annealed copper wire. Aluminum is softer and great for deciduous trees, while copper is stronger and better for conifers. The key is to choose a wire that is about 1/3 the thickness of the branch you're rewiring. You'll wrap the wire around the trunk and branches at a 45-degree angle. This angle gives you the best combination of holding power and flexibility. Be firm but gentle, ensuring the wire doesn't cross over itself, as that can restrict sap flow. Once the wire is on, you can carefully bend the branch into its new position. Remember, bend slowly. You're not forcing it. You're persuading it. The goal is to set the branch's memory so it stays in place after the wire is removed, which can take several months to a year depending on the tree's growth. After wiring, or sometimes in conjunction with it, comes pruning. Pruning is the art of removal. It serves several purposes. It maintains the tree's size, encourages finer branching, and helps define the overall silhouette. There are two main types of pruning: maintenance pruning and structural pruning. Maintenance pruning is what you'll do throughout the growing season. It involves trimming new shoots to maintain the tree's shape and encourage denser foliage pads. You're essentially telling the tree, don't grow there, grow here instead. Structural pruning is more drastic. This is where you make major decisions like removing large branches that don't fit your design, correcting crossing branches, or establishing the primary trunk line. This is best done during the tree's dormant season when it's less stressed. A good concave cutter is your best friend for these larger cuts, as it creates a wound that heals much cleaner and faster. A key concept to embrace is creating negative space. Bonsai is as much about the spaces between the branches as it is about the branches themselves. This negative space gives the tree a sense of airiness and maturity. It allows light and air to penetrate the inner parts of the tree, which is crucial for its health. It also lets the viewer appreciate the beautiful structure of the trunk and branches. When you're pruning, step back frequently. Look at your tree from all angles. Squint your eyes. Does it look balanced? Is there a clear flow and direction? Are you creating layers and depth? Think of yourself as a sculptor chipping away to reveal the masterpiece hidden within the block of marble. Each cut should have a purpose. Don't just snip randomly. Now for my favorite part, the art of controlled imperfection, or as the Japanese call it, wabi-sabi. This is the acceptance and celebration of transience and imperfection. A perfect, symmetrical, flawless tree can look artificial, almost plastic. But a tree with a little scar on its trunk, a slightly gnarled branch, or a bit of deadwood, that's a tree with character. That's a tree with a story. We use techniques like creating jin and shari to simulate this natural aging process. A jin is a deadwood branch, and a shari is a strip of deadwood on the trunk. These are carefully created to look like the tree has been struck by lightning or weathered by harsh winds for centuries. It adds a profound sense of age and resilience. It's about finding beauty in the imperfections that life and nature inevitably create. It's the soul of the bonsai. Let's put it all together with a practical example. Imagine you have a young juniper. First, you'd clean it up, removing any dead needles and weak lower growth. Then you'd decide on the front of the tree. This is your primary viewing angle. Next, you'd identify your main trunk line and primary branches. Using wire, you'd start by setting the curve of the trunk, maybe giving it a gentle S-shaped movement. Then you'd wire the primary branches, positioning them to create layers and depth. Never have two branches at the same height on the trunk. Think of a spiral staircase. After wiring, you'd use pruning to refine the shape, thinning out dense areas to create those foliage pads and negative space. You might even decide to create a small jin on a branch that's too thick or awkwardly placed. This process isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing dialogue with your tree over years and decades. So, to recap, it all starts with the principles of asymmetrical balance and proportion. Then, you use wiring to guide the branches and structural pruning to define the core shape. Maintenance pruning keeps everything tidy and encourages refinement. Throughout the process, you create negative space to give the tree an airy, mature feel. And finally, you embrace wabi-sabi, the art of controlled imperfection to give your tree character, age, and soul. It's a patient art form. Your tree will change and your vision for it might change too. That's the beauty of it. You're not creating a static object. You're collaborating with a living, breathing being. Thank you so much for joining me today as we explored the beautiful art of bonsai shaping. I hope this inspires you to look at your own trees with a fresh perspective and a new set of skills. Don't be afraid to experiment and find your own artistic voice. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more bonsai tips and tutorials. We have a lot more to explore together. Until next time, keep growing and happy shaping.